Hi everyone, and welcome to the Tarot with Titania reading of the week for April 29th to May 6th. I'd like to apologize for the noise in the background. A young person who is very dear to my heart is working on a project, and I would rather not interrupt her, so I hope you'll forgive me for persevering despite the noise in the background. Okay, and it's April 29th to May 6th. I believe I said that, 2022. I hope you are all well. I'm loving the spring weather, I have to say, and today we have a special homage to the dandelions that are blooming in my garden right now. They look like little suns, and I just think they're exquisite. I have a recipe for dandelion shortbread, which I might try later. We'll see how far we get. So, welcome. I hope you've had a good week, and let's get started, shall we? I invite you to close your eyes and take 3 nice deep breaths, pulling yourself into the present moment here with me, right here, right now. Put your hand over your heart. Come home to you. I invite you to see a tree root coming down out of the base of your spine, anchoring you deep into Mother Earth, knowing that you are grounded and cared for and protected, as well as that channel is taking away anything that no longer serves you. You can easily pass down all that old stuck energy, all that gunk. It'll flow easily and effortlessly down into Mother Earth and become compost for your new good growth. Creator, this is your daughter Titania, and I'm here with all of your children on this call now and in the future. And my intention is to be a clear channel for the information that we both personally and collectively most need to receive right now for our personal and collective highest and greatest benefit. I'd like to invite my higher self and the higher self of all those listening, as well as an overlighting angel of communication, to be present and facilitate this exchange, ensuring that we cover everything that is in our personal and collective heart and mind at this time in the window that we have together today, that we really get to the core of it all so that we can move forward beautifully, powerfully, in a clear and clean direction with our hearts full and open and grounded on this beautiful planet. I'd like to invite the 4 archangels to come and hold the 4 directions around us across time and space. Wherever you are held in this circle of light. I invite Raphael to hold the east, Michael to hold the south, Gabriel to hold the west, and Muriel to hold the north. Thank you for coming. I want to thank all those who are holding this space together today, holding this energy, this field of light, of love, of transformation, of healing, of peace, of whatever it is in our heart and minds that needs to be most addressed at this time. Let it be so. And anything that does not match these frequencies is welcome to go now. So let's get going. All right, Creator, what do we need to know this week for our personal and collective good? I've been having a challenging week, I'll admit. The beauty of spring has been helpful, but I have been feeling, I suppose, disappointed in humanity. A little frustrated, a little stuck, not quite knowing where to put my energy. So if you're feeling the same way, you're not alone. And if you're feeling wonderful, good for you. And thank you for feeling wonderful, because we all benefit when you're in a good place. So let's get started, shall we? Okie dokie. So the past card, as you all know who've been here for weeks, this energy is continuing. It's important right now to be aware of it because it's part of a flow right now. And we have the card of signals, the 8 of Wands. Wands are the suit of fire, creativity, inspiration, passion, generative qualities. And this energy of signals is all about being in communication, ideas coming in, ideas going out, being inspired, being pulled into a dynamic, a co-creative dynamic. And this doesn't mean you necessarily have to be in contact with others, although you could be, but it's more this exchange of it's like you're taking in things that are inspiring to you, and it's lighting you up. And as a result, well, this happens to us all the time when we're excited about something. We're launching what Abraham Hicks calls rockets of desire. We're continually communicating with the universe. And so this card is about that. It's about the signals that we're putting out, the signals that we're receiving, and how that is inspiring us and firing us to be more generative and creative and push us forward in our lives in good ways. And so there's a mindfulness, there's a beautiful big rose here. It's just reminding us to come from that place of love and to be loving and kind with ourselves about what we're putting into our consciousness, so that we are being loving and kind and inspired about what we're putting out into the world as well. So it's because love, the rose is the symbol of love. It's very high frequency, and so we see that a lot in these cards. The symbol of love is just remembering that it's all part and parcel of the same thing. But there's some pieces that resonate with us a little better and help us to stay in a higher state better than others. It's not the same for everybody, thank goodness, we're all different. But just that remembering that we need to come from that space of love. Okay, so this is where we're coming from this week. This is what we need to pay attention to as we move forward, is this exchange. It can be with each other, it can be on our own, it can be with other creatives, that sort of thing. But it's this sort of give and take of ideas and generative energy from the universe. Present card, the Prince of Pentacles. Pentacles, earth element, the material things of life, comfort, well-being, food, company. And princes are knights in other decks, mine they're princes, and they go charging in and out. And as a result, things change, and then you change quickly. And so this Prince of Pentacles card is sitting in our present environment. So there's this quality of change on the material level. For good or ill, what are you putting out into the universe? What are the signals? It's interesting, I talk about my feelings of disappointment. I'm just feeling like the deck seems to be stacked against our ability to stay in a positive place. It just feels like there's so much out there to bring us down, and it's challenging, and that's where that intentionality comes from. I mean, what are we putting into our consciousness? Because if it's bringing us down, then it's not serving us, it's not serving the collective, it's not serving the field of energy that we're wanting to generate for the future. So this quality of change in the present, or this things changing on the material level, how do we want them to change? A simpler, more beautiful existence where everyone has enough. I think that's a pretty wonderful thing to hold going forward. And ultimately, what is enough? I suppose that's a definition we need to look at. I'm going to get philosophical if I'm not careful. Near future. Four of Swords, seclusion. So there's this going inward, this need, this desire, this near future card is showing us that they're from this sort of generative, sparky kind of energy incoming. Changes on the material level, which could mean inspired to change your life in different ways. And ultimately moving towards sort of a time of going inward, as if we haven't had enough of that. But I guess what's true is on a meditative level, you never get enough of this. But this going inside and coming back to yourself. Who am I? Who are you? Who are we? What is it that we want in our lives? How are we navigating our lives? How are we living our lives? Are we deliberate about it, or are we just sort of randomly going along with whatever's happening? So this card in the near future is this pulling inward, this sort of taking some time, some space. It's a 4. 4s are very grounding. So there's this quality of taking time to be grounded and peaceful and contemplative about all that we're seeing and all that we're experiencing, so that we make wise choices. The foundation card, why we're having the reading this week, the card of passage. So we don't have any major arcanas this week. So that's usually an indication that it's, things are just kind of moseying along on the material level or the three-dimensional level. Major arcana cards, when they show up, talk about spiritual, archetypal, that kind of stuff. We don't have any of those so far this week. But the foundation card, the reason why we're having the reading this week, is the card of passage. So there's this energy of transitioning, of moving from one place or one state to another. In this case, the passage card shows a couple in a boat. The mast is down, they don't have a rudder, they've been through a storm, and the storm is over, as we see from the rainbow up here. And they're signaling, it looks like they've got a white cloth, and they're signaling a boat that we don't see on the card. But rescue is near. There's rescue coming for them. They've been through a really hard time, and now it's smoother sailing. They're being carried because they can't navigate. They kind of have to just go with the flow, which is a little bit like, you know, humanity. You know, there's the choosing and then flowing with the choice. So what are we choosing? And can we flow with it with ease and grace, and there's sort of this trust as well, the rainbow, and I think about that, the story of Jonah and the ark, you know, how God sent the rainbow as a promise that it would never flood the earth again. So there's sort of that kind of quality as well, this sort of symbolic, we've been through a hard time. I'd like to say we would never go through that again. I don't want to eat my words though. But let's just go with this. Let's just go with this energy of foundation, of passage. This is moving from where we've been to where we're going. We're we don't know where we're going. We don't have a rudder. We can't steer the boat. The mast is down, but the current is carrying us. And the general flow right now on the planet, the incredible return to the feminine and the collaborative and the co-creative, we've touched on this again and again in the past 2 years. That's where we're going. And so we need to line up with that. We need to line up our unit, ourselves, with that collective field and momentum that's going in the direction of the kinder, wiser, gentler, broader care for the planet, stewardship, which we talked about last week. Those qualities are all contained in this. So you know, we're between the stories, as Charles Eisenstein says. We haven't arrived yet. We don't have it all figured out yet. We're still creating it. We're still generating it. So important, you know, important to be focusing on the good, on what we want, how we want the future to unfold, and taking time out to give ourselves permission to dream that well and to live that well and ground ourselves well. And in this present card, change on the material level, which, you know, to me, and just this, as I said, just feeling like this, things are never going to be what they were before we went into this pandemic. The world has changed. Economically, things have changed. Logistically, things have changed. There's just so much change that's happened. And I think the important thing is to realize that we're still part of co-creating that change. It's not just a few people at the top who are sculpting our future. We personally within ourselves need to dream the future. We need to dream how we want it to go. And that is, to me, is what this is speaking of, is this change, but we need to be inspired and inspire the change, and then ground it in ourselves, ground it in our peacefulness, ground it in our well-being, ground it in our presence to nature, to life, being that state that we want the world to be more like. And then trusting the flow, trusting the unfolding, because it's kind of out of our hands anyway on some levels, and yet not on others, if that makes sense at all. We are the ones creating through our dreams, our hopes. By lining up with our yes, we are creating a beautiful new future. If we're in a place of fear and uncertainty and doubt, which seems to be a place that you know, our media certainly doesn't seem to be trying to get us to this place. You know, just being mindful of that, being mindful. Drama is a thing that humans do. They like to get excited about stuff. They like to get worked up about stuff, but it may not be the best thing for keeping grounded and centered and creating something more beautiful. Okay, so those are the cards for this week. Let's pull a card to grow on. Okay, Creator, what is it that we need to know for ourselves, for each other? What do we need to carry forward with us this week with intention and awareness so that we can bring forth all our good and our best to life even when we're not feeling 100%. Especially when we're not feeling 100%. Okay, so our card to grow on for this week, that which we would carry forward before us to help us stay on target. Victory. I think we had this one not that long ago. Another wand, the Six of Wands, and we have this person riding over flames on this beautiful horse, and there's this incredible expression of jubilance and it's this sense of, well, of victory. It's victorious, it's jubilant, it's inspired, it's powerful and strong and vital and lively. This is the energy, as much as we're able, tapping into this, the victory, the beauty, the excitement. Again, this is one, so it's about generating this quality, generating more life, generating more ease, more flow. You know, this doesn't look like it's too hard for the rider at all. It looks like it's happening effortlessly. So our card to grow on this week is this quality of victory. What would our world be like if we were already there? What would it look like if the dream in your heart took shape? What would it be like? What would the story look like? And what would it feel like to be in that world? How would you feel? Day in, day out, up, down, all around. That's what this is calling us to consider, because it's a generative card. So what would it be like to have that beautiful, victorious life, personally and collectively? And how would you feel in it? And giving that some energy this week, giving that some attention, dreaming it a little bit, going into a space of the dream and pulling it in. We have an eclipse on the 30th, a solar eclipse in Taurus. It's the first eclipse, as I understand, of the season, of this year. It's also a new moon. So it's interesting because this is very much about, sorry, I should put it back in the middle. This is very much about the dream. And the new moon is a time of dreaming. It's the time of planting seeds of what you want to experience for the next month and beyond. And eclipses are also about this. This is like the next 6 months. There's sort of this quality of planting seeds and putting that intention out. So if you have the opportunity this week, dream this one a little bit and plunk it into that new moon solar eclipse in Taurus. Taurus is all about earth. It's all about the good things in life. It's about beauty. It's about harmony. It's about our family. It's about harmonious cultivating of the earth. It's about good food, good company. All those things that make a home beautiful and comfortable and inspiring. The earth is our home. We need to live here. We need to live with each other. We need to have visions about how that is possible. So this week, our card to grow on is what would be victorious? What would represent the victory of humanity over the challenges that we face? What would this planet look like? How would we thrive? So I encourage you to give some energy to that this week if you would be so kind. And let's wrap it up for this week. Taking a nice deep breath, coming back to yourself. Creator, this is your daughter Titania, and I want to thank you for this opportunity to read for our wonderful little community. I ask that you be with each and every one of us as we navigate the coming week. Help us to stay creative and inspired. Help us to remember the bigger dream that we are carrying, that we are helping to co-create. Help us to see that which inspires us and to add that into our vibration, so that wherever we go on the planet, whoever we meet, wherever our footfalls go, we are bringing that beautiful energy of possibility to life in every interaction. I want to thank all those who helped to hold the space today. I want to thank you for being here today. The reading is at an end. Have a wonderful week. Happy solar eclipse, new moon in Taurus. Are they both in Taurus? I guess they must be. Have a great weekend and week. Enjoy spring wherever you are, or autumn if you're in the southern hemisphere. Lots of love, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.